guys, it's Gretchen and welcome back to my channel. First of all, happy 2021. This is the first video that I'm actually filming in the new year. The vlog that recently came out obviously was filmed in December 2020. Like, even though it was the first video of the year, this is the first video I'm filming in the new year. So I hope everyone has a great year. I am really excited for today's video, primarily because I have been asked about this specific concept quite often, especially over the last year. And as you can tell by the title, I am going to be talking about constellation piercings and what those are. So I've had a lot of questions, whether it was in like a body mod Q&A or just someone sending me a DM on Instagram. A lot of people have asked me what my thoughts on constellation piercings are and if I'd get one. So I was sitting there going like, what the heck is a constellation piercing? Obviously I'd heard of it because people kept asking about it, so I decided to do a little bit of digging, a little bit of research just to see what everyone was talking about. And honestly, I'm still slightly confused because it seems like there are two different ideas as to what constellation piercings are. So I'm going to touch on both of them and like where it came from, what it takes for something to be a constellation piercing, and all that fun stuff. Also, yes, let me address the elephant in the room. I do have a new piercing. Check that off of my list for 2021, even though I got it in 2020. So what exactly is a constellation piercing? It's multiple piercings that make up either a pattern or design on one's ear. Usually this is 3 to 4 piercings, but it can definitely be more. The idea behind constellation piercing is that it is a curation of piercings. So you actually go into it with a design in mind and you're like, all right, I need these piercings in order to make this design come to life. So the design or the shape or however you want to refer to it is typically designed between the client as well as the piercer. They come up with the best route to get to that specific design. In order to get that design, you could do multiple piercings for like one element of it. So coming up with that between client and piercer is really important. In my digging, I found that the term was coined by Brian Keith Thompson. He is a piercer out in LA. He has done some gorgeous work even on celebrities. Like, celebrities actually seek him out in order to get their piercings, whether it's just, one, or they get a curation of piercings. It seems like this has been around for quite a while, like several years, but it picked up popularity, from what I gathered, around 2016. So when you first hear constellation, the first thing you might think of is astronomy. That's kind of what the constellation piercing concept is based off of, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna like take the shape of a specific constellation. Though it can. With constellation piercings, you can come up with your own design, or you can look at constellations in the sky and, find one that you really like and would like to get a curation of piercings to represent. So like, if you're like me and you're really into your zodiac signs, you can find out what your zodiac constellation looks like. I am an Aries. We have a very simple looking constellation, so that's pretty cool. Some are very intricate. So if you can't think of a design yourself, you can obviously look at the different constellations in the sky and be like, ooh, that'd be kind of cool to map that out on my ear. Because of this, the possibilities are absolutely endless when it comes to curating your own constellation piercing. You can either base it off of an actual constellation, or you can make your own design. You and your piercer can kind of come up with the best route to get there. So the possibilities are absolutely endless. If you are like myself and you already have quite a few piercings, you may already have a constellation piercing technically. Like, you didn't come up and you didn't curate this specific design. I often get asked how I plan my ears. Spoiler alert, I didn't. I was just like, ooh, let me get something on this ear this time. Let me get something on this ear this time. And it just kind of went back and forth. There was no plan. But if you're like me and you already have quite a few ear piercings, you could technically say that's a constellation piercing, technically. I'm not sure I would actually say that just because I didn't go in to my piercer and be like, I would like to create this specific design, but you could run with it and say that you did. So jewelry choice, I found, also plays a large role in crafting a constellation piercing set. Like, when you hear constellation piercing, you think just one, but it's a smattering of piercings. So just know that when I say constellation piercing, I mean multiple piercings. It's just like a group. So jewelry choice plays a key role in kind of tying the design altogether. Typically jewelry is very small and dainty like. You're not gonna find pieces, you know, like what you see at the holidays or something like that. That's not typically gonna be incorporated into a constellation piercing. So when someone has a constellation piercing, they typically have like small simple studs or even really tiny hoops, like the little huggy kind of hoops. Pieces that are too large or too loud, so they kind of draw your attention to them, will end up taken away from the concept of a constellation piercing. Some will even take a constellation piercing to the next level and actually incorporate jewelry that have like a star, a moon, what have you theme. Because they do have a lot of jewelry out there. You know, you get a little star, you can find a little crescent moon or something like that, and people will incorporate that type of jewelry into their constellation piercing. Color stones are sometimes used, but not in excess. So you'll find simplistic jewelry, and sometimes you may see like a blue stone in there every so often, or even like a green stone, but you're not gonna find a lot of it in a constellation piercing. You may find one or two pieces that have this tiny stone, and this is the whole premise of a constellation piercing, is that the jewelry is tiny. It is small, it is dainty-like, it is very simplistic. You're not gonna find, usually, things that are over the top. So yes, you can use color stones. You don't have to stick with just like a diamond looking one where it's clear. You can incorporate other colors into it, but you don't want it to kind of overwhelm the concept. Basically, when it comes to jewelry, it needs to be small. You can even find detailed tiny jewelry, but if it's too loud and too noticeable, it is going to take away from the whole premise that is a constellation piercing. The curation of the design or the pattern is what your focus should be on and how intricate it all is. So you don't want to wear louder or larger pieces that end up taken away from the design and focus more on the jewelry. So to kind of show you what a constellation piercing looks like, I did find some pictures online. The first one I'm going to show you right here is actually one that a piercing studio or piercer, I'm not entirely sure if it's the piercer or the studio that came up with it. There is a watermark on it. It says Alien Piercing, so I don't know if that's the name of a shop or if that's the like handle for someone, because this image has been shared a lot across Instagram, but just know that I did not curate this image. Yes, I pulled it from Instagram. But this shows you kind of like if you're looking at a constellation piercing based on an actual constellation. So you can look here, find maybe your zodiac sign, be like, ooh, I'm a Leo. I'd like to get kind of a design based on the Leo constellation. You can look here and see what it would recommend. So just looking at this image, using Leo as an example, you can see that there's like a mid helix, there's a flat, there's a conch, there's a double tragus, there's a rook, and there are 2 forward helixes. That's a lot. Obviously you wouldn't get that all in one sitting, or you shouldn't, but that kind of gives you an idea of how that little layout would go. Like I said, Aries looks like it's the most simple one, and it's again a double tragus, a daith, duff, and a helix. Or you can even put it down onto your lobes. Some people aren't feeling adventurous and don't want to get up into the cartilage area. You can even try and come up with detailed designs on just your lobes. If they're large enough, if they haven't already been pierced and their hole is there, you do have to keep that in mind of placement, but that's also an option. Looking at this one, this is an example of just sticking with your lobes. You can create a design just on your lobes. And again, I'll insert some pictures over here that are just kind of flash up to just give you an idea of what a constellation piercing entails, especially in regards to jewelry. So yes, I guess technically I could say I have a constellation piercing, but again, I didn't personally curate any of these piercings. I just went based off of gut feeling and what ear I wanted it on. This is just stuff that I found in my research because I kept getting asked about it and I was like, I have no idea what people are talking about. So thank you to those who actually asked me about it so that maybe I could dig a little deeper and find out what the heck you were asking me about. Let me know in the comments below if you yourself have actually curated a design or pattern for your ears before, especially, you know, working with your piercer. Have you all come up with that design? Did you go in knowing it was a constellation piercing? That's what its actual like terminology is. Or were you just like, I kind of like how this would flow together. Let's make it happen. Special thank you to my patrons. You can help support the channel on Patreon while having access to videos early, viewing patron-only content, and more. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big ol' thumbs up. Go on down there and hit that subscribe button wherever it may be, because I don't know, even though I do. This is just my shtick now. Also hit that notification bell in case you want to know when I upload, and in case YouTube wants to let you know when I upload because I would really appreciate it. And until next time, bye guys!